Okay, Ray. Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone and welcome to our commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting 5:05. Invocation. Who would like to do this? Anyone from the audience or anybody, no volunteers? Adrian, we always can count on Adrian. Can everybody stand, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today to do the work of the people. Please bring us wisdom in our efforts and kindness in our results. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico and the freedom of the people. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Aguilar. Vice Chair Secretary.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Duggins is absent. Commissioner Gonzalez is absent. And Chair Martinez.
President, ma'am. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of agenda. Commissioners, you've had a chance to review the agenda. If it's okay with you, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented. So moved. Commissioner Aguilar, motion to approve.
Is there any presentation that needs to be moved up to the top?
They're up to the top.
Yeah, okay. Right. Second.
Second by Commissioner Secretary. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Item 7, approval of minutes of April 9th, 2024, the regular meeting. Commissioners, have you had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make a motion to accept the minutes for April 9th.
Motion by Commissioner Secretary to approve the minutes of April 9th.
Second, sir.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The April 9th regular meeting minutes are approved. And Casey for doing the cross.
I will.
Committee and department reports. Detention Center.
Good afternoon, Chair Martinez, Commissioners. I don't have a report. I just want to keep you guys in the loop. I want to kind of share everything that's going on in the community with all of our RISE guys and what's been going on. We did some cleanup in Magdalena on Saturday with some weed detail out there, and then we did some other kind of weed detail here in the city in the Socorro surrounding areas. We got a couple of people requested to get cemeteries done, which will be out there. I don't want to give an exact date, but we'll be out there to clean up the cemeteries. I know we had another request from the senior center here in Socorro, asking if we could do a weed detail. I'll have to get the okay on that because I know it's not county, it's city or whatever, but we'd be more than happy to go out there and knock out those weeds and do what we got to do. On top of that, a lot of these guys been participating in a lot of activity inside the facility when it comes to showcasing their arts and crafts inside the facility. I'd like to turn everything over to Literacy, Chelsea, and let you guys know what they've been doing inside the facility. I know a lot of times when we do the report, we kind of just talk about what goes on. So I invited everybody from Literacy to come on up and kind of share what they've been doing inside the facility and all the success inside the facility, and you'll see a lot of the success that's going outside in our little community when it comes to the beautification project, when it comes to all the art that you've seen on, kind of showcasing within our little city and stuff. So if I could invite Chelsea up just to kind of talk a little bit about everything. And then I got these pictures that I'd like to share with you guys. I'll go ahead and pass out, I guess, and keep them a bit of light.
Thank you, Eddie. And thank you for allowing us to go inside your facility. I'm Chelsea Jones. I'm the Socorro Public Library Director, Literacy Coordinator, and Chair of the Beautification Committee. So I gave you a little bit of a report of what we're doing with literacy. I know it's very familiar to you because you used to have literacy funding. We're just doing things a little bit differently. We're trying to reach out to some of the underserved populations, which includes the detention center. So for about a year, has it been already a year? Yeah, a year. We've been reaching out and servicing Socorro Detention Center with weekly classes, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. I did bring 2 of my wonderful volunteers with me because it is Volunteer Appreciation Week. I have Alan Baum and who's got people at Cottonwood. And so they've been a huge catalyst to getting this program going in the detention center. So we're doing comprehensive adult student assessment systems, training them for either their high school diploma or GED. We're also focusing on interpersonal communication skills, book reading, financial planning, and critical thinking. That's just a small snapshot of what we're doing. With the beautification committee, as we get to know our students, they have amazing talents, and one of them happens to be Prescott Achito, who is our artist for some of our beautification projects. So if you notice some of the utility boxes throughout town, we've been facilitating that through the beautification funds. They spent approximately 75 hours on those murals, prepping, painting, and beautifying California Street. They've done some trash cleanup with us for Santa Fe Lane, Ditch Banks, and 6th Street. And we also have 100% secure Socorro Communities mural grant that we're starting on the Port of Socorro thrift store. And we actually received $5,000 in grant funding to provide that mural for Port of Socorro. So that will go towards the supplies and paying the artist, which will be Prescott Achito. Also with that, we're partnering with Workforce in the WIOA program. If you're familiar with that program, it's an innovative way to help employers provide job training and positions in the community as they're transitioning out of either being a dislocated worker or, in this case, the detention center. So we did hire, the library did hire Brandon Morales, who worked with the literacy program, and he's actually on his way to get his diploma. He passed his first test, and he did that with the help of this program. So thank you, guys. My wonderful volunteers, because they really do a lot of the work as well. Whoever wants to come up and give a little.
I'm looking fast because
I think we received just $11,000, and we use that on regularly. So this is all volunteer based. Thank you.
So last year, actually, Kelsey and I realized the literacy program had disappeared. And it wasn't necessarily county fault, it was a lot of miscommunication between the state and the county. So we had to kind of scramble because there is no subcontractor anymore. So we're just like flattered by the state of our pants. So it's really kind of lovely because it helps us go in and see what the guys need, or we do an ESL program as well as the library. But with the detention center, we were just kind of open to what they would like to do. And they're all really welcoming. So I just really appreciate that. I don't know how.
Thank you. Volunteering.
You're welcome. How to do something now that I'm retired.
My name is Alan, and I'm a retired nurse. I'll be 70 years old on my next birthday. But I'm a volunteer at the detention center for the literacy program for some real specific reasons. For more than 50 weeks, I've been going up to the detention center every Saturday and introducing literacy awareness to the inmates out there. Can I call them inmates? Detainees, sorry. Anyway, we have gone over everything from poetry to classical art and literature, everything from resume writing to astrology. And in our search for intellectual treasure, what we have found is inspiration. We find that people have been drawn to this as a pursuit that they've never experienced, they've never explored before. And I guess in my hours up there, there's really no rigorous way to measure the impact except by the minute to minute enthusiasm and participation of the detainees. And if that's the measure of success, then my time has been very well invested. I get really good participation. I see probably 20 people every Saturday, minute river. Well, and the fruit of that labor is what Chelsea was mentioning about. She's hired Brandon Morrell. Brandon was a detainee, and Brandon, well, after his release, he's now got a regular job. As Chelsea mentioned, he's completed the qualifying test for his high school equivalency diploma, and he is walking his path towards his personal success. And I have to believe that the literacy program and that inspiration is part of his success. And I just found out today that he passed that test. I'm just so proud of him, I can't stand it. That's the kind of impact that we can have as a program. The library, so many different programs. The library is becoming a hub for community programs under Chelsea's leadership. And I just think that there's so much potential, that there's a real opportunity here to make a difference. I feel like I'm part of that difference. And I appreciate the support of the detention center in allowing us into the pods to actually spend time with the detainees. And the results are worth it. If I could encourage you guys to do anything, is to continue to support the library, the detention center in this pursuit, because it's working. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great call, you guys.
And that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have any questions, I can fix some more of that stuff.
Commissioner? Eddie, I was in Magdalena Saturday when the detainees were cutting the fees, and I went over there. And I didn't go right to where they were because they were working, and they looked at me, and I was going to make it a point today to thank you. And I know it makes a difference. I've heard Commissioner Duggan say many times, because he goes a lot to visit. Well, I don't know now, but he used to go. And if you can keep them busy, that's what it's all about. Being incarcerated 8 hours, 24/7, kind of wears it. And if they can find something, literacy, getting their diploma, art, stuff like that will keep them busy. I want to discuss this later on with the commissioners. I have something that I want to bring up at one of the commission meetings. With their permission, I'll invite you and we'll discuss it and we'll present it to the commission. See if it'll work out. I think something, see what we can do. If anyone saw the news on Albuquerque, that individual that's drawing real pretty art over the bridges, to me, it's kind of disappointing that they want to cover it up. To me, that's not graffiti. To me, that's art and it makes it look nice. I appreciate it. I hope they can come together and let it stand. And let the city of Albuquerque tell those individuals what they want. The bridges, I think it's something worthwhile. Somebody that's committing a lot of time to it and money. It's not cheap. It looks beautiful. People pass by, they can see. Thank you again. And appreciate it. All your officers too. Thank you.
On another note, just so you guys don't talk about this, but Quaylen has a crew out at San Antonio. They're putting up fencing. So I have 9 detainees out there. They're assisting with David Stanford. He's my go-getter. He's my outside. He's all my detail work. So he's been out there with a couple other staff members, and they were out there all day yesterday and today. The poles are up, fencing's going up. So Quaylen was really thankful for allowing us to have some detainees out there to get the work done, because I think they should probably be done by tomorrow. So with the assistance of those 9 detainees, they kick butt out there. So they did a really good job. Another thing, whenever they're doing all the art with the beautification program, there'll be people that are just randomly driving by. They'll pull over, they'll take pictures, they'll ask staff, hey, is it okay if I buy these guys something to drink? And So just the support and the love that we get out in the community is great. You give people honking, good job, you guys are doing a great job. So that's always kudos because these guys go back to the facility and, a lot of times they're happy, man. They showed a difference. I know they made mistakes in the past, but they're doing something back to the community for these kids that are walking by and they're seeing this artwork and just taking advantage of it right now. Just running with it, trying to go as far as we can.
Thank you.
I was going to mention that I did see him out there in San Antonio this afternoon. That's a good thing, it's not just about being incarcerated, but you could get them rehabilitated instead of just leaving them in there. That's a positive right there.
And this RISE program, it's a success. You got everybody saying that's coming in, they're like, hey, I want to be part of the program. How do they know about it? They're on the phone, loved ones are telling them, hey, you need a program. They're all over everywhere, people see our guys out there. And I guess a lot of people have the mentality of these guys just sit in jail and not do anything. Well, now they're out there doing stuff. If it's cutting weeds, if they're raking dirt, they're doing something, staying active, and they enjoy the fresh air, the sunlight, getting out there and doing stuff. So as long as that continues in the program and they're doing good, and these individuals that are outside, they're clear conduct. There's no issues with staff. There's no misconduct reports. These are individuals that we feel comfortable, and they're always escorted. It's not just one person. We have plenty of staff members when they're out. Security comes first, but again, we kind of know who's going to be out there because their program is doing good.
And you keep someone else there.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else, commissioners?
No.
Thank you. Thank you,
Guys, thank you volunteers, we appreciate it.
Next one is acknowledge manager's report.
Chairman, Commissioners. So last week I was enrolled in the New Mexico Edge CPO class, so I wasn't on site. But I am the registered CPO for Socorro County, so I had to renew my certification to maintain compliance with state statute. Between classes last week, I worked to close on 1404 Enterprise Road, and we closed on Friday. So Socorro County is now the owner of the Solaro buildings. The property in the main office building is fiber installed, which Socorro County can utilize in the future to remove the detention center from dependence on leased tower space on M Mountain for connectivity. Right now, our IT staff has to go all the way up the mountain when they have to deal with connectivity issues with the detention center. After that, we're also looking to move our FMO and our facilities into those buildings and explore the potential of the buildings in the future for Socorro County. I did reach out and schedule a meeting with Mr. Kasuga and Mr. Zamora with MRGCD to review Socorro County projects and discuss issues arising as we coordinate those projects. That meeting should occur May 9th, and I did update Commissioner Duggan. I reviewed and posted our annual financial disclosure with AccuDisclose so that our lenders can access our financial summary for bonding and lending purposes. We received our tentative offers from New Mexico DOT for the FY25 LGRF projects. Myself and Zarina submitted the acceptance letter to those projects for that funding cycle. I did submit for the PED grant for youth interns as well as Clean and Beautiful, as I had relayed in our last meeting. Those two get submitted. And then I attended a county project close meeting for Hop Canyon Drainage with Chairman Martinez, Tappan Mahoney, and Gary Berner with DEC, Mr. Gonzalez, as well as Attorney Adrian Nance. We closed the drainage project and scheduled the public meeting for the residents. The public meeting occurred last night, and it was attended by quite a few of Hop Canyon Road residents, as well as Socorro County staff and our contractors. The meeting went well. We discussed project funding, project timeline, past projects, and future projects in that area. And I do believe that we have significant enough feedback from the constituents there to be better prepared for future projects and executing them to the satisfaction of all those residents, as well as Socorro County. That's it. Any questions?
Questions? I'd just like to thank you again, Sammy, you and Adrian, because the agenda was clear and it worked really good. Everybody was happy when they left the meeting. I think we all learned something in the meeting. I did. And I think for future projects, it's just going to be good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next one is acknowledge commissioner report. Commissioner Aguilar,
Nothing this time, sir.
Commissioner Sotelo.
I will, I'm going to pass for this.
Okay. For me, I attended the North Central New Mexico Economic Development meeting, the advisory council. I'm on that board. And in that meeting, the cabinet secretary, Jean Paul Schrader, told us that there's a lot of changes coming up to help. One of the major changes is they're asking for 300 volunteers for ombudsmen. And those ombudsmen are they're being trained in Santa Fe or Albuquerque. It is people that have the right and authority to go to these restaurants and check to make sure that people, seniors, are well taken care of. Question was asked at the meeting, will they have authority? Can they go in? They said yes. They'll have some identification where they can come in. Because I guess there's a lot of people that are not being taken care of. I don't know how that'll work to get that many volunteers, 300, to be able to do that. They don't, all they can do is go in there and see a violation. They call the office for them to come down to do a thorough investigation. So we'll see how that works. We were represented well at that meeting. Senior Center Director for Socorro, Linda Maris was there, and the mayor from Magdalena was there representing. So they learned a lot. They're doing some changes on the reporting. They announced their budget, how much they're going to have for next year. So it worked out good. Okay. And then the other thing, I was asked by a constituent on the millions that we have. I had sent you an email. If we can sell millions to anyone. The answer is?
Chairman, Commissioners, yes, the millings are accessible to all county residents. And they have the opportunity to come into our office and they can either purchase millings themselves or they can purchase them to be delivered by our road department, but they are accessible to everyone.
Did everyone hear that? They can buy the millions. They can pay to have it delivered. We will not spread it for them, correct?
That's correct, Chairman. We do not do an installation.
So if you see county trucks driving to a resident and dropping off millions, you call the office to check to make sure that it was a legal transaction. On everybody. Okay, item 9, public comment. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. The county commission is not able to take action on matters discussed during public comment. Speakers are required to state their name for the record. Any public comment? Jennifer?
Oh, none of this, but I don't.
Anybody wants to speak, Ray? Okay. Okay, the next thing is presentations. The USDA Wildlife Service report and update. Matthew Ellis.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Chair and Commissioners. I'm Gail Tripp, the Emergency Manager. This is Matt Ellis. He's our USDA representative. I'm just going to give a brief synopsis on the northern part of the county and the dog situations. The Commission Chair asked me to report on 114 dogs that were in the group. We were contacted by a person from Adult Protective Services. Jose confirmed that the dogs did exist in the home, and then we coordinated with several rescues. We had 13 people on site that day to remove the animals, put them in the kennels and the vans and get them off the site. We left 5 dogs that are not staying here with the owner, but they're bringing them down this week and we're utilizing part of the money you guys allocated for us to use for spay neuter to get them fixed. And those are the dogs that they'll be allowed to keep. And then we'll follow up with them. Of course, adult protective services will also be. So that's a good segue for what Mount helps us with up in the northern part of town.
How many dogs again?
114.
Resident. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Matt Ellis. I'm with the Department of Ag. I was asked by the county to help assist, say, with some of these feral dog problems, dogs at large. And I've been working with the county, up in the northern part of the county, removing some of those dogs from that area, working with the local dairies, and dealing with those issues. Like Gail said, it's been a huge problem. It's going to continue for a while, but we'll continue to deal with it. Some of the other things that I deal with in the county and have been working with is the wolf issues, monitoring the wolves stuff in Socorro County, working with some of the new county guys that we're trying to get together to co-investigate some of the depredation investigations and getting those guys trained up to come with us to co-investigate the depredation stuff. Some other things I've been doing, the pigeons problems at the courthouse. We've been removing birds from the county buildings around the courthouse area, getting a handle on that to help keep those air conditioning units, those new air conditioning units and the new roof they put on, try to keep the birds from causing damage there. We've been doing some predator preventative work throughout the county, the Conch area, all throughout the county mainly, but in the last few weeks it's been mostly in the Conch area. We've been trapping ducks and testing for the high path avian influenza at New Mexico at the Tech, and getting some of those samples sent off. Some of the other things we've been doing, and it's kind of wrapping up the sandhill crane hazing and the distribution of the pyrotechnics and stuff to the local ranchers and farmers to help haze those birds out of the crops. And our sale of controlled pesticides and stuff to local farmers and ranchers. So that's kind of what the USDA has been working on throughout the county and throughout the last few months. Any questions for us? The wolf activity has picked up lately. Right now, we've gotten a few depredations. I got one that will be tomorrow, but it has picked up. This is kind of the time of year that the predation has picked up with that. So we'll continue to monitor that.
I asked for the sheriff because he has 2 officers that went to the first training.
Yes.
And then maybe they can go with you tomorrow because you have an actual.
I got one to go to tomorrow. I'm going at 9, so
Okay.
everybody's available to go.
Yeah.
Hang on again.
And then Jose, you're also.
Yep.
Is he going? Yep.
He's got court at 9,
Oh, so he can,
so he can't go.
okay.
But anyway, I also hand delivered our agreements and our stuff to Sammy for this upcoming year, our new financial plan and all that. So she's got all that. So,
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay, the next one is voting machine use. It's from Mike Scott.
Yeah.
You can read.
Bear with me for a moment here, please. I'll put the monitor over here in front of the camera.
Does the commissioner need to see?
That's it. That will actually get to. Will actually get to the super.
You'll see. Is it showing on?
No, it's like.
Thank you.
You can take the mic off and put the mic on. There it is. It's showing now, Gail.
It's showing now. Are you ready? I have to do an answer.
No, it's just still. Okay, I'm hiding in the corner, sorry. Good evening, Chair and Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to express my gratitude and deep respect for the Commissioners to allow me to speak about a risque topic. Next thing I'll be talking about Bigfoot or aliens or something. The risque topic I'm talking about is election systems in New Mexico and at large in the United States. And that's what this video is going to be about. Let me give you one real quick metaphor. So I'm walking out of Walmart and big long sidewalk. And the next thing you know, I see these two legs parallel with the ground, laying on the ground, sticking out. I'm like, what is that? I go around the corner. And there's this woman like in her late 70s or early 80s that the shopping cart had gone off the sidewalk and had pulled her underneath the shopping cart. It was horrible. So I go to help her. I'm like, God, are you okay? You okay? Next thing you know, all these people come in, like maybe 15 people come in to help this woman. These are all different people of different persuasions, political beliefs, ages, races, creeds, everything. They didn't care about that. They cared about helping this woman. Now, this is a metaphor for why I'm here. I'm not left or right, center, nothing. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I care about is having a system that is not hackable. And that's what this video here is about. And again, I appreciate you allowing me to present this. And when it's over, I'll answer any questions if you have any questions, if I can answer them. I'm not an expert, but I can bring experts in here that can fill out anything that I can't answer. Okay, I appreciate you allowing me to put this forward. Sorry I didn't bring popcorn.
Thank you.
So I actually held a demonstration for my colleagues here at the Capitol. We brought in folks who, before our eyes, hacked election machines.
Mr. Curtis, would you please state your full name for the record? My name is Eugene Curtis. Where do you reside? LIC Florida. What is your profession? I'm a computer programmer. Would you please speak in the microphone so the audience can hear your testimony? I'm a computer programmer. Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections? Yes. Please let this be the case. In October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I work for in Florida that did just that. When we say did just that, it was a Reagan election. It was Pocono 5149. Whoever you wanted to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
Now we get to the end. Excuse me. I guess I just hit the button. How do I get back near the beginning?
Bill.
And the sheriff's.
What I was trying to do was get rid of this panel over here and I pushed it all the way forward.
So the audience can hear your
Good, thanks. Sorry.
Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections? Yes. How do you know this to be the case? In October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I work for in Florida that did just that. And we say did just that. It was a Reagan election. It was Pocono 5149. Whoever you wanted to go to and whichever race you wanted to. And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials, like even county boards of elections, could detect? They never see it.
America's voting machines are vulnerable because my colleagues and I have hacked them repeatedly as part of a decade of research studying the technology that operates elections and learning how to make it stronger. We've created attacks that can spread from machine to machine like a computer virus and silently change election outcomes. We've studied touchscreen and optical scan systems, and in every single case, we found ways for attackers to sabotage machines and to steal votes.
We're going to start getting into the weeds here.
Transmission from the ICP, is it cellular modem versus VPN?
It is a cellular modem that can be configured in a VPN, right? And we currently in Chicago County, we work with Verizon to secure that now.
What wireless chipset / modem does the hardware have?
We support a variety. It's really up to the jurisdictions what technology they want to use, what's compatible with their networks.
So that answers the next question. Is it 40, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint?
Yeah, all of them.
They just admitted, Dominion, that their machines are hackable.
Independent security.
Right on camera.
Created their own search engine looking for election systems online.
Over 35, but they're not online. We're still continuing to find more.
Voting machines themselves are not designed to be online. So how are some voting systems getting online? We got a first-hand look when we visited ES&S, the largest manufacturer of voting machines, and talked to CEO Tom Burt.
Why is there a Sprint thing here and a Verizon thing here?
There's a small percentage of jurisdictions in the country, a lot of them are in Florida, who have decided that they want to modem unofficial results to the election office.
ES&S insists while there are 14,000 of its modems in use, there are firewalls separating those modems from the public internet.
This is the largest guys admitting their machines are hooked up to the internet.
Percentage of jurisdictions in the country, a lot of them are in Florida, who have decided that they want to modem unofficial results to the election office.
They want to modem the VPN. It's a joke.
ES&S insists while there are 14,000 of its modems in use, there are firewalls separating those modems from the public internet.
Once again, those things are a big fat joke. I have hacker friends. They go right through a firewall or a VPN.
We're seeing Illinois and Michigan.
Last summer, Stokeland's team found ES&S voting systems online in at least some of the precincts in 11 states, including the battleground states of Florida, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
If you were able to get inside these systems, could you do more than perhaps mess up the preliminary results? Could you actually get deeper inside the system?
Absolutely.
Top computer scientist Andrew Appel agrees with Stokeland.
Once a hacker starts talking to the voting machine through the modem, they can hack the software in the voting machine and make it cheat in future elections.
The Dominion Voting ImageCast Evolution, or ICE, is an all-in-one accessible...
As it says, this is what we use in New Mexico.
Where it's used in the United States. New Mexico in 2013.
ImageCast Evolution voting machine has the physical ability to mark votes onto the ballot after the last time the voter sees the ballot. Modems in voting machines are a bad idea. Those modems are network connections, and that leaves them vulnerable to hacking by anybody who can connect to that network.
So as we all know, there's multiple teams working on this, and our technology team's into it. And as was broke early in the week and last week about connected devices, at this very moment at a polling location in the county, not only do we now have access through the devices to the poll pad, the system, but we are in. And it's not supposed to have Wi-Fi, and that's not supposed to be able to happen. So we've documented now, it's communicating two ways in real time. It's receiving data and sending data. Should never happen, shouldn't be Wi-Fi. We've now documented it in real time, so we slow down the data. But that's going on right there where everybody's voting. And I just wanted to get it into the record.
And they're saying
there's a hacker.
The meeting was saying, saying, oh, well, this Wi-Fi connection polypad is no big deal because it's just one Dominion machine to another Dominion machine in our little, whatever our state is, right, in sort of this little round robin kind of a communication system. That's what they're claiming it is. The fact that it can be seen by anybody with a phone means it can be hacked by anybody with the tools. Go to Hack 5, okay? You see how easy it is. Hack 5.
Just say went to the website.
You get these little pineapple.
That's Hack 5.
But you get these little pineapple devices that you can attach to any USB receiving device. So you can put one on your phone, install the appropriate app, and read and hack into Wi-Fi standing there with your phone.
One of the things we found was that the technician password in Antrim.
This is in New Mexico, Caddo County.
I heard some laughing out there because they know that, guess what the password is for New Mexico? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you can do with the technician password, you may not be aware, you can reopen a poll, you can re-zero a poll, as well as open and close a poll. You can do all of that. You can access all of the administrative menus. And the reason that's important is if you read one of those expert reports, you'll find out in there that I documented a feature that should not exist in the machine, but is in there, which is you can go in days if you want after the election and open the poll again, add ballots, go down into a sub menu, adjust the time, print it out, and you cannot tell the difference between that tape, that paper tape, and the election night one, other than the fact that the vote tally is different. Another thing that's on your system, and that we found in Antrim, and oh, by the way, we found in Maricopa also, is the Microsoft SQL Server Management Suite 17 software. It does not need to be there, okay? Now, why is that a problem? You can access this tool without any password. Once you've accessed this tool, you now have the keys to the kingdom. You literally have the keys to the kingdom. You can go in and change the passwords for all the Dominion software to whatever you want, and then later on change it back to what they were. You never need to know what they were. You just go in, grab them, save it, change it, make the password XYZ, and then when you're done doing whatever you're doing, put it back the way it was, and no one will know. So you can change the passwords and access it, but even more so, the Dominion software and system is very much database-based. So all of the information is in the database. And with this tool, you can do anything you want to that data. You can change it any which way you want, very quickly. There's an election designer software package from Dominion that they use all over the country. If I subvert that package, I could subvert every election in the country by subverting one piece of software. Okay? And when they roll out their update, I roll out the subversion, and now I basically own the elections for the entire country. All right? And the same is true with ES&S. They have the same kind of structure.
So I'm showing, this presenter shows 3 different ways to get into New Mexico systems. 3 different ways.
If you want to run an audit, you got to bring in a forensic audit. You can only bring in the certified people. Only 2 companies are certified. They're the same ones that certified the machines in the first place. Do you see a problem here? You don't bring in the CPA firm to audit itself. Both in Otero County and in Maricopa County, they did canvassing of individuals who went out into neighborhoods. And what they discovered in both places was that there were people, significant numbers who said they voted, and yet the history for them said they didn't vote.
This is another presenter in Otero County, Aaron Clements.
Shut down. Beginning of the voting until the canvas was complete. Every election should have had a blank space on this record for primaries, for generals, for local elections. You can see that there's no blank spaces in this record. So that law was obviously being ignored. Now, I want to draw your attention to this red box here on the right side. This is when a massive amount of manipulation was happening in the rolls. And it makes no sense at all because your county clerk told us, we gave her a small set of registrations, and we said, can you tell us where these registrations come from? It turns out that about 80% of the registrations that she processes originate with the MPD, okay? If most registrations are coming from the NBD, how did we have this massive spike in registrations over the summer and prior to the election and even after the election? Because our governor shut down the NBD in March of 2020 and did not open it again until December 2020. So here we have this massive, ridiculous amount of registrations coming into Otero County in a time when the largest source of your registrations was shut down, okay? Now, I showed you Otero County. It doesn't matter what county you look at. It's the same in every single one of them.
Look at that.
You have the same shape. The rules about shutting down the registrations were never respected. You have
This is this MDD thing. Last one. Close.
We had envelopes with multiple postmarks. We talked to two USPS employees. One was a supervisor high up, and she said there's really no reason you should have postmarks. Why do we have envelopes with 3 postmarks on them? Is it possible you were intercepted, changed, mailed again? Maybe. Cannot fold the vote. That's what the EAC requires, that they have to tell the difference between handwriting and a fold on paper. They don't. They actually count folds as votes. They're also programmed incorrectly for write-ins in New Mexico, and I'll show that to you. Okay, here's 2 more folds as vote examples. Here's the fold that's going directly through an oval, so it counted as an overvote, and the same thing over here. Now, Meeting actually advertises their tabulators that some of those errors that I just showed you, where you have an overvote, that there is a check for a person should be alerted, hey, there's an overvote, you need to examine this ballot. So if whether it's in person, there should be an error and allow the voter to make a change, or if they're processing absentee ballots, it should alert the election workers that they need to examine these votes. Were these genuine overvotes, or did something go wrong here? So that this is actually right out of the Dominion's handbook, that these are the sorts of errors that can be prevented. Well, it didn't work because all those votes I showed you, and here's more.
The problem was that they could never reduplicate what happened on election night, and every time they ran the numbers, they got a different.
To the scanner?
Yes, sir. 5 times, they made $16,000 5 times. They sure did.
Now, here's what's really strange, I want you to pay close attention to this, is that one of the ballot boxes in had 9 extra ballots in it. And everybody, including the county machine, they're going, you don't understand what this means. We have the paper. It says this many ballots are supposed to be in this ballot box. It's locked, it's sealed. They open it up. It's got 9 extra ballots in it.
Watch this guy.
What you are seeing is a crime. These are fraudulent votes. In 2 of our 5 key states, you were allowed to give your ballot.
They have 2,000 different videos. See if the answer, there's 2,000 different videos of these folks. And none of those deals were part of the, I guess you would say, the exploring. They didn't look at it if there were more than 10 different places where they dump stuff in the ballot boxes. So these are the top of the iceberg.
So that's absolutely within their jurisdiction to say we don't want them in the county, because they're not in a position to claim that specific question. They said they didn't vote on that when it was written.
They require the clerk to use
drop boxes. They're not. Nobody's required to use them. It's a rule. It's not a statute, which means they have authority to say not in our county.
Right after this meeting, the state has made it illegal to not have ballot boxes. Right after this meeting. What if there's a connection there? But I have an answer for them. You'll see.
Okay, but just let them do that because they're mentioned in the statutes. It does not say they're mandatory. Besides that, we have the Lincoln County Clerk negotiated with the Secretary of State to only put out 1 instead of 2. If she can negotiate a place for them, and Lee County put out 0, and Sierra County put out 0, you can say no.
Yeah, we can say no, we don't need these machines. We'll get into details in. Well, that's what we're doing right here, remedies to fix the system. This is always fix the drop boxes in Mexico, how they shove them down our throat. Here's how you do it. Put those drop boxes in a secure location, have ops in that room, and monitor it video-wise 24/7. Pero yo hablo español, no tengo problema con las personas de otros países. So it's not about racism in terms of identity. Right, that's pretty much it, unless you want me to dive into C++ language. I'll tell you this, look at this real quick. This will take about 1 minute. If you can see this. Let V equal vote. This is C++ language. V times the rand num func, and then you define the range of the random number function. So instead of when you vote for candidate, let's say candidate X, which will come here in a moment, one vote for candidate X is now either 2 or 3 with a simple 1 line of code in C++. Not only that, but you wouldn't want to do 2 and 3 in terms of the range of the random number function that you're multiplying times the vote every time somebody votes. This is in code in the background. You do not see it. The only way, again, the only way you can stop all this stuff is get rid of the machines. And you can stuff ballot boxes and all that kind of thing like they did back in the 60s. But it'd be a lot harder to stuff up millions and millions of ballot boxes as opposed to one modem connection through ES&S or Dominion. Anybody have any questions? Sorry I bored everybody. I wish I brought popcorn. Look, if we want to change something, the first thing we need to do is to not certify the election until we have an independent third party, not V&V and the SLI compliance companies that did the original certifications of the Dominion machines in New Mexico. We need to get some third party that has no connections, which is going to be really hard to do. They all know each other. And have that company come in and certify our election devices. And that would be step 1. Other than that, decertify. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Mr. Scott?
If you need me to bring experts in here, like the people that were in that Otero County meeting, I can bring them in here. If you really want to figure out how to fix this problem. And I mean you no disrespect. I think this is a step-by-step process, but were you aware of all those backdoor things that are in there? I mean, my goodness. All right, you don't have to say anything. I get it. Again, thank you.
Chair Martinez, if I may.
Yes.
So as your Socorro County Clerk, and I did introduce myself to Mr. Mike, inviting him to our process of how we certify machines for elections. It is always open to the public. We do announce it. And our affiliate parties at that time, because of the June primary is affiliate party, they do come in and we do have open door policy, like I explained to you. I, as the county clerk, have the most of respect for our machines and how they run with the recounts that we've had in the past administrations. So when election night comes in, We're not looking at any ballots. We're using SIM cards that are recording everything. There are 2 SIM cards on the tabulators. One is taken out. It is read in the county clerk's office, not on a computer that is hooked up to the internet, but with the Secretary of State's office. That computer is only used for elections, so it is not hooked up to the internet. It is read at that time, and that's where we get our unofficial results. Our IT guys are the ones who upload the information to our website for the totals of what is coming in. The other card is tied in with a seal in the tabulator. For any reason that we have to reevaluate or run that card is sealed. The recounts that we've had in the past is now we take all the ballots out that are locked up. One key is with the Socorro County Clerk. The other key is upstairs in the district offices upstairs with the district judges. So there's no way for the county clerk to unlock those boxes without the presence of the district courts. So when we've had recounts in the past, we have to have our attorney involved, getting permission to get the keys, and the district judges have to be present when we open the boxes. In our recounts at that time, we're opening the boxes. We're rerunning every single ballot in the boxes to match what was prepared and done on election night. In my administration, we've never had a recount that hasn't matched the numbers. And that's counting election day, absentee ballots that are received either in person by the mail or in the boxes. The hand count tallies, I know on your screen, you described or they said that there are ways that ballots should be notified. If a constituent goes in to put in their ballot into the Dominion, if it's an overvote, our voter poll officials are alerted. Our constituent is standing there. The Dominion machines will say, this is an overvote. It spits out the ballot. The constituent can see the ballot. And at that time, they have the option to submit it and accept it as is, take it out, and then we void that ballot, which the constituent will write void on it themselves, reprint the ballot, and now they can redo their ballot again. So it does show if there's an undervote or an overvote on the machine, and it's up to the constituent if they want to submit that ballot and vote it again. So the Dominion machine does catch those, and that's part of our certification when we're doing that. But back to the recounts, we haven't had a recount that our numbers have not matched to the T.
Okay, that part's good, except let me ask you this. The numbers of ballots that you have, how do you know that those are legitimate ballots and not stolen through VPN or, and I didn't even get into this. So I'm standing up here. I was in the military. I don't know how many people I served. We had brick phones in the 1970s. We had cell phones that were the size of a brick in the 1970s. You're trying to tell me that the military doesn't have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth that would just blow our minds how capable that is? And you're trying to tell me that some little creep, and again, now I'm not political, but I do a lot of looking. You're trying to tell me that at the top of the Mark Zuckerberg world, which is how they got this stuff in Otero County, you heard them talking about that, through some kind of independent financing. Let me stick to the point. These things, the numbers that you had, that when you recounted them, they matched perfectly. So you didn't have that problem of mis-scanning that the person was talking about in that one video section. So my point is that through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, you won't even know what the vote is from the beginning that you're recounting and matching.
Of course not, because that has to be, you cannot know whose ballot is being put in. So when a constituent comes in and they are going to vote, they bring them up on the computer, they sign their name, And that ballot is issued according to their precinct where they're at, what their affiliate party is, because there's so many different types of ballot styles that we work with. So that ballot style has to be specific to the person who is a registered voter in our county, which we have all the records to those in the county clerk's
That's not what I'm
office.
saying.
So the voter registration of the person that's voting, plus the ballot that's going in, at the end of early voting, every night, they do a report. They're matching the number of voters that came in to the counter on the tabulator. They have to match those numbers for the end of the day reports every single day. So a lot of people don't understand the lengthy process of running the election, and it's very detailed. So the number of constituents that are voting, they're signing, saying they're there to vote, they received their ballot, they insert it into the tabulator. At the end of the day, the number of voters that they put in and signed for is matching the number of the ballots that are going into the tabulator, not knowing how they voted. But it's designed to their precinct and to how they get their ballot.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and what I'm saying is that through this digital world that has nothing to do with somebody sticking a ballot into a machine and having it scanned properly here in the state of New Mexico, in this county. What I'm talking about is Bluetooth and stuff that goes in through a back door through the air and changes the number after you're done. You have no way of knowing what's going on with those machines. Okay, let me put the facts. Let me just go back ways. Let me make a different argument. If we went with paper ballots that people actually looked at,
which they do,
I'm saying that there were no machines whatsoever used, ever. And yeah, it's going to take a lot more time and money to do it. Maybe not a lot more time when you get right down to it. Because this thing gets popped out over here through the scanning machine. And you have to rescan it and look at it, and what's this? Whereas a person could see that vote, that fold through that vote very quickly. Whereas the machine's like, oh no, kick that out, that's an overvote. You think it's possible that what I'm suggesting through the air Bluetooth Wi-Fi, do you think that's even possible?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, then there's no sense in arguing about it.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
we gotta move on.
I'm sorry, we got into, I think it was important we had this discussion, though, yes. Just as important as the video.
Correct. Thank you for your
Thank you
presentation.
very much for your time, and thank you all very much for your.
Thank you.
I'm dry.
Yeah. Over here, yeah.
Okay, next one is item C, the Gita Senior Center disposition, Linda Mares and Rudy Lopez of the city of Socorro.
Good evening. I'm here today to advocate for our seniors in the Bajita area. The center has been closed for over a year now. Prior to the closure, Bajita was serving about 22 home delivered, 27 congregants, and transporting about 5 seniors daily. It is a great interest for the area that we tried to work together with the county, the state to reopen the center. We did send out a survey. 89% of our seniors are interested in attending the senior center. 40 seniors took it upon themselves to sign a petition, and I have copies of this. They would like the center reopened. Speaking with our seniors, they miss playing pool and seeing friends and miss having a safe place to go and enjoy activities. All the seniors in the Bajita area have been homebound since the closure. The ones that are able to travel went to the Del Rio Senior Center in Belen, which is now closed due to construction project. We have one driver who delivers Mondays to the Bajita, one hot meal, and one 4-day non-perishable Miss Olive's food box. It has become a lot to serve this area with 50 plus home delivered participants. Our request today is to gather city, county, and state, make the right decision together to help one another with the reopening of the center. We ask the county for the use of the building. We also like to operate Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Open the center from 9 to 1 p.m. We are looking for 2 workers, possibly 30 hours a week. This will be a 1-year trial run. We are asking the county to match the city funds of $18,000. Your support is needed and appreciated to help make the efforts to make it a success.
Hello, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Ruby Lopez. I'm the Finance Director, and I know you want a budget. So a budget I have, so salaries is about $388,000, and in those salaries, we're looking at making Linda Director, promoting her, getting to her employees now are part-time. So we want to make the cooks full-time, would be 40 hours a week. The drivers would be 30. Hiring 2 temporary employees, about 30 hours a week. And so that would bring our total salaries to about $388,000, and then operating would be about $230,000 for a budget of $660,000. The state told me to go ahead and use the revenue that they budgeted last year. With that, we have a shortfall of about $96,000. If the county decides to give something for the senior center, then that would lower that amount. And then I'm going to submit the budget to the state. And if the state tells me, you know, I need to cut somewhere, then we cut on, maybe go down to 1 employee, depending on what we need to do. But that would be the budget that I'm presenting to the state. Oh, and then, so we do need access to the building, of course. So it is under the county. We don't want a building. We just want to be able to access it. And like you said, her hours would be from 8 to 2, but open to the seniors from 9 to 1. I don't know how we would work that out, if it'd be an MOU, if you're willing to let the city use the building. So that's what we're asking for. We're asking to match the city, $18,000, plus use the building. That's our request today.
Okay, we have it on the agenda, executive session to discuss it, so.
Okay.
We need some more stuff to discuss, we'll let you know.
Okay, so you have an answer today, or you let us know, or how do we do this?
We should, can
Have direction today, probably.
Okay, great. So we just sit right?
Yeah. Wait a minute, Commissioner, Secretary has a question.
So you do all the finance? And
Yes, I do all the finance, yes.
In terms of feeding the families, what does it come out to per serving?
About $8 to $9. Before COVID, it was like 3 to 5. We just came from the summit and we did training, but ours is about $8 to $9, and that's about average throughout all of New Mexico. So what we do, what it is which I learned is that, so our expenses for the month and then our number of units, we take that and divide it, and that gives us our monthly per serving.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any more questions, Commissioner?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also wanted to thank you for letting us use the building. We have invitations for you for the thing that we're having out there. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, the next one is action item, consideration of distribution of meal levy funds, first quarter 2024, proceeds to Socorro General Hospital.
Chair Martinez and Commissioners, my name is Veronica Pound. I'm the Hospital Chief Executive and the Nurse Executive for Socorro General Hospital. And I am here tonight to request, I have a letter that will serve as a request for distributions of funds from the Socorro General Hospital mill levy for the first quarter of 2024 for the amount of $250,000. I usually come back quarterly to request these funds, but we'll do first quarter tonight, and then in July I will do my annual presentation that is required.
Any questions, Commissioner? Recommendation? Our interim manager says we recommend to do pass. Need a motion to move. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar. Second by Commissioner Scatero to distribute the 2024 $250,000 levy funds.
And I will make sure, I'll give you a letter, but I'll make sure Mary gets the letter, Rosas gets it. letter as well.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Item B, consideration of property donation by Arthur Janet Driver. Driver.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this is a property donation. It's not quite as standard as it's not in the Rio Grande Estates area. It is 40 acres. It's 40 acres on, I believe it's on the east side, but after review by the assessor in the manager's office, I recommend that you approve it.
You heard the recommendation of the attorney. Need a motion to approve? Commissioner Aguilar.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Secretarial. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, it is approved, the donation. Item C, direction staff to establish and advertise for the position of Deputy County Manager.
Chairman, Commissioners, Chairman, Commissioners, what you have before you is what we had on the agenda before. This time I came prepared with my slides. I show you the comparison that I ran before a previous meeting. So these are the counties that have deputy county managers. The majority of them have more than one. They have between 2 and 3, operational and administrative. You'll see the populations of the counties that have the deputy county managers and the different degrees. There's no one population that deserves one. With that, you also look at our county size. Socorro has the lesser population, has the largest size as far as square miles. And then if you're looking at them compared together, you'll see our Socorro over here at the top as far as size, and then at the bottom as far as population, which kind of just highlights the fact that we're very diverse. We're working with multiple organizations. I mentioned last time we're working with New Mexico Game and Fish, the Bosque, the State Forestry, BLM, State Police, City of Socorro, Village of Magdalena, NMSU, District Court, Magistrate Court, PED, Socorro Consolidated, New Mexico Tech, MRGCD, and Speed, etc. I think the need is very much apparent within Socorro County, especially when you consider the turnover. Again, on our last meeting, I mentioned that we had turnover in 2019 of our finance director, our manager in 2020, our grants in 2021, payroll in 22, and again, our manager in 2023. And that turnover has significantly depleted staff experience and led the majority of the administration to any staff having been on board prior to 2019. And with that, do you all have any questions?
Commissioners? The salary for this position,
Yes, sir.
what would that be?
It's dependent on the commission. My recommendation would just be the same setup as your current department heads and their deputies. And I think you guys are at 90% of salaries. And that salary would be coming from your gross receipts tax. GRT will be more, so we have several construction projects, and our construction projects are projected out for at least 2 to 5 years, I believe. And with those and the increase in GRT, I believe we'll have enough to fund the position. So that's where it would come out of within your budget.
That's dependent upon us, right?
Yes, that's dependent on you.
Sorry for stepping out, but in terms of this motion and then also is this a direction? in what direction we're headed, right? Is that what?
It would be to direct staff to establish the positions, and to advertise for it. And Sammy, am I incorrect or correct? Help me on the budget here. Will they do a budget adjustment resolution, or will it be in the new budget? Or will they approve the new budget?
If it's hired within this fiscal year, it'll be in a budget adjustment resolution done this fiscal year. And then if it's hired in next fiscal year, it'll just be a part of your upcoming budget that you'll review.
So, I think my recommendation would be, in terms of, let's go and proceed with it. But in terms of, I like to come back around and take a look at it again with the gentleman here.
Say again, what's your motion?
So right now, what she's at, what's asked is for the, to establish and then advertise. So what I'm asking is, let's slow that down. Let's take a look at it next board meeting. Let's go and look at what they come up with, and then at that point we will make a.
What do you mean? Like what come up with?
Would you like to table it to the next meeting until all the commissioners are here?
No, not necessarily table, but in terms of.
You would not like to
Because
advertise?
because it would cause a domino effect in terms of, if I'm not mistaken, the
Perhaps, also maybe direction to, and maybe direct the advertisement to not commence until you all have hired a county manager, and that way it can be part of that process. I mean, that would make sense too.
Well, that's coming. That's coming in regards to later part of May or even possibly first part of June. But I wouldn't mind having this in place within the next board meeting. I just want the two guys to. That's just me personally, but like I said, if you guys are wanting to make a motion, I'm open to that as well too.
Well, if we advertise, well, if I may, I would like to make a motion to table this until the other two commissioners are here, because this decision is money. We're gonna hire a new manager. By hiring a new manager, we have a set salary that was advertised there, but we gotta make sure that we have, if that's gonna be the salary or what we're gonna pay the new manager. And I would like the input from the two commissioners. I think it should be 5 commissioners making that decision.
For a decision like that, I agree.
Anyway, then if they say go with it, then we can advertise. My motion is to table this till the next meeting, so the 2 other commissioners are here. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar to table. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this is tabled till the next meeting.
Chairman, Commissioner, thank you.
Can you email that presentation to us and to the other 2 commissioners?
Of course.
That way they can kind of see.
Would you also like the dialogue?
Yes, yes, please. Okay, the next one is item B, acknowledge personnel changes. Who'd like to take care of that?
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay,
Karma Trujillo, Detention Center, new hire, $16.11. Michael Peralt, promotion, completed FTO program, $21.93. Pete Werner, promotion, completed FTO program, $21.93.
I have a question. What is FTO, Sammy?
Is it relation, can I look at what you're looking at?
It just says, it doesn't say where they work.
They're field training officers usually.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is, it's the sheriff's department, so it's field training officer.
Sheriff's office. Okay, need a motion to acknowledge the personnel changes?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The personnel changes are acknowledged. Okay, item 12, financial action items. We usually approve both the vendor checks and the payroll checks at one time. A, approve vendor checks, B, approve payroll checks. Who would like to do that?
I will go ahead and make a motion to approve both 12A, approve vendor checks for the amount of $786,316.64 dated on April 22nd. And then item B, approve payroll checks for the amount of $244,315.04 dated for April 23rd.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Both A, vendors checks, and B, payroll checks are approved. Item 3, executive session. I need motion and roll call vote to go into executive session, and that pursuant to New Mexico State Statute, Section 10-15-1, only the following matters will be discussed until such. A, personnel. I, interim county manager. Double I, county manager applicants. B, pending or threatening litigation with Jesse Chavez and Board of County Commissioners. C, real property. I, Solero Building. Double I, Vegeta Senior Center.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
Second.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Aguilar,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Secretary,
Yes, ma'am.
and Chair Martinez.
Yes, ma'am. We are now in executive session. Thank you. To regular session, so move. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
Second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. Roll call vote,
Commissioner Aguilar,
Yes, madam.
Vice Chair Secretarial,
Yes, ma'am.
and Chair Martinez.
yes, ma'am. Okay, action items. A, direction to staff regarding the deposition of Veguita Senior Center.
Mr. Chairman, I would, based on our discussion, suggest a motion that to propose to pay the $18,000 as requested and to lease the building to them on the 1-year basis they requested it with the same terms and conditions the city leased it to us. Leased the other building to us.
You heard the recommendation of our attorney. Gentlemen, I need a motion to that effect.
I will make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Linda, and so it's approved.
Thank you, thank
They'll
you.
be sending you some, thank you.
We'll have to come back with a final agreement for you guys and us to sign.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you all.
Thank you, thank you for waiting.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, item B, direction to staff regarding county commission applicant,
Mr. Chairman, I do not believe there's any items that are necessary for this.
okay? Okay, our next commission meeting is May 14th at 5 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn?
So
Commissioner Aguilar, motion to adjourn,
I will second.
second by Commissioner Secretarial. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:16. Thank you, gentlemen.
Do we have anything to sign?